Okay, so as many of you guys know, today's webinar is about improving your professional presence. So let's get started. Before we start, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Donnie Santiago. I am a student at UCSD. I am the Paradise Lieutenant Governor, and I'm happy to be here and talk to you for a few minutes about what it means to be present professionally, have a presence, and how can that be included and mixed with CKI. Okay. So today's agenda, what is a professional presence? So we're going to talk about the components that go in a professional presence and being professional in CKI. My clicker isn't working. Okay, so what is a professional presence? It has 4 components. So first, respect, etiquette, confidence in yourself and your ability, and confidence in whatever you're doing in CKI. And at the core of it, passion. So we have a little map. This is your road to success, road to becoming a successful professional in CKI. So first, we're going to talk about understanding your guidelines, your attire, your preparation, what to do in times of, crises, your mannerisms, and lastly, passion. I will go more into that at the end. So let's get started. So guidelines. Sorry, it has a lot of animations. So the first step to becoming a professional is understanding what is professionalism in your field or in CKI specifically. So like your bylaws, like you have to know what exactly sets like an outline for you to mimic, or for you at least to emulate. So they set what's acceptable and what is not, and you should always consult them when you don't know. It's like, oh, should I wear this? Is that right? Asking someone also. Don't be afraid to ask. Some people may understand these guidelines better than you, so keep it in mind to ask people for help. So secondly, your attire. I think this is most important, although it's second. I think this is one of the most important features because it shows how you portray yourself. It's a literal image, the image that you want to portray and the image that you bring to, I don't know, a different organization, people that see you in public. Like, how do you reflect the values and what image do you want CKI to have? So this one, I have a little bit emoji of myself. I presented this at district board weekend. So we were all looking like this, kind of. So for your blouse or, your top, you want a blazer, a blouse, a button up, and you want dark colors. You kind of want to mix in with everyone else, not stand out too much, For your bottoms, you want dress pants, long skirts, and also dark colors. For the long skirt, it has to be past your knees, no higher up than, I believe, 2 inches above your knee. And for shoes, loafers, flats, small heels, nothing too drastic, also dark colors, very professional, very nice to look at as well. Third, oh, my camera just went really bad, hold on. Oh, okay, sorry, it's getting darker, so I look kind of weird. Okay, third, preparation. This is also a very important component in being professional. So I have these little sticky notes. They kind of all relate to each other, but they add a little more to each other. So starting early is very important. You probably hear this all the time, but it's easy to overwhelm yourself, and it's easy nowadays to procrastinate. So I think starting early is incremental. So you might not see the benefits of doing an assignment like progressively, but the due date comes, you're gonna be like, oh, I did this over the course of 2 weeks. I only have this small part to do. And you finish and you have the rest of your days to yourself. Agendas. Just giving yourself, like I said, like it says on top, like an outline. You want to know what to say. You don't have to map everything out, but you have to have key ideas and points that you do want to hit throughout, a webinar or a presentation, anything like that. Taking notes. Taking notes is very important, whether for yourself or whether for specifically in CKI, if you want other members to know the information that you consume. It's easy to say like, oh, you can just look at the slides or whatever, but you should take down important information that is relevant to you so then it can, stick in your mind. Pre-reading. So when people do have agendas and outlines, you want to prepare beforehand and read over those agendas and outlines so you have an idea what is going to be discussed and you can be better prepared if they do happen to ask you a question or they discuss something, so you can have better input in whatever is being discussed. Preparing questions, not necessarily for the people presenting or people that you come across, preparing questions for yourself. So for example, like you have to anticipate what people are going to ask you and you will try to fill in those holes or like missing pieces before you get to the presentation so you can have a more like solid presentation, basically. Research. So this goes back into pre-reading things. So you want to know what you're talking about. And if you don't, I'm a huge proponent of this myself. If you don't know what you're talking about, it's better not to, and educate yourself before you give input, because then your input will be more valuable and will actually, go towards making CKI better. And there's a little heart for you guys. Thank you for coming. Okay. Mannerisms. So basically, I wanted to talk about online communication, specifically since the pandemic. We have come pretty far. Like right now we're on Zoom. We should be very thankful that this platform exists. So messages. So you want to contact people consistently. Don't just go MIA and not keep people updated, because that's also not bad. That doesn't reflect well on you. It seems like, you don't respect someone's time, and you don't want to actually put an effort to communicating and keeping up that. So messages, like I said, contact people when you can or when they're available, and set your boundaries. So set your time and place. Although it's very easy to say, oh, you can contact me anytime, sometimes they will, and it's easier for you to set a time and place so you can separate those personal and professional settings, and then you can better, focus on each one. So emails, when they email you, please answer when you can and quickly. And visually also, they have to be very organized and well structured. That just looks good on you, because you actually take the time and effort to make something presentable to whoever's reading your email. In Zoom meetings, having your video on. So not specifically here, but when you're in a presentation or meeting, people can put a face to a name. And responses. I think this relates to messages and emails. So respond in a timely manner. And if you don't have an answer to their questions, just update them. Tell them, I don't have an answer. You just have to be present, whether digitally or in person. Just show them you're there and you're cooperating with whatever they're asking you. So physical presence. So when you're speaking to someone, when you meet someone, you want to be loud and confident, and try not to use fillers. I've used a couple fillers up until now, so sorry for being a little hypocritical, but you want to project, you want to make yourself be seen. Enthusiasm. So you want to be enthusiastic, so you want to be happy, approachable. People feel more comfortable around you and they were more likely, be interested, specifically in CKI. I know when they were tabling outside of UCSD, they were all happy and jumping around. And I was like, oh, I want to be part of that. I want to be also very happy and friendly and just happy about life. Listening. Sorry, I said listening specifically. you can better give input and just be more present when you're actually actively interacting or taking in information from people that are speaking. So that's good. Greetings. You always want to introduce yourself to people. Just tell them, I'm from here, I'm part of CKI, that feeds again to being approachable, and people will be more likely to listen to you because they feel comfortable around you because they know who you are. So this is a little image, I guess, a little visualization of what I mean when you want to create an environment where people can be professional. If you yourself are professional, your companions, your friends will see you and would like to mimic you because it's like, oh, Donnie is wearing, really nice clothes to this event. I should too, because I don't want to look weird. It's weird how people work, but they don't want to stand out. So the more people that act professional, people are more likely to mimic. And then you yourself also fall into that same. Be a trendsetter. So times of crises. I think this is where your professionalism shines out, stands out the most, because people nowadays have a huge fear of being wrong or not knowing what to do. And like I put at the bottom, being professional does not mean you know everything. It's being able to acknowledge that you don't know everything and being able to put yourself in a position where you can be educated, where you can learn, and where you can ask for help. Because sometimes you can be good at something, but there will be someone else who knows more than you and can give you better advice. And there's nothing wrong with asking people, I don't know this, can you please explain it to me? Because then you will know in the future, and then you will also be able to act as a resource for those around you. So specifically, like if you're having issues with clubs, other members, ask your counterparts, the RA, for help. If you're running late, things happen sometimes. You just want to give an estimated arrival time. And like I said, unsure of something, always ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. If they don't know how to answer your question, they're more likely to know who to direct you to. So last slide is passion. So this is coming off the top of my head, but passion 100% sets a foundation for everything in your life. You can do everything you can do everything in your power to be professional, to keep a good image. But if you're not passionate about something, that will become a chore, become a job, and eventually it will eat away at you. And unless you're very passionate, things seem like a drag. So with passion, everything else that I mentioned today falls into place. When you're passionate about something, when you're trying to follow, meet a goal that you set for yourself, and you actually have ambition and passion behind that, the time that you make for it will, it will appear to you itself. The way that you present to people that also have the same interest, that will come naturally to you. Everything that I have mentioned will come naturally to you. And I don't I don't want to say if you're not passionate, like get out, but it's much easier to pursue things that you truly are willing to dedicate your time to. So please keep in mind that try to find passions in your life and try to pursue them the best you can. So thank you. That was my presentation about keeping your professional presence, or what is a professional presence. You guys have any questions for me? No questions. Done.